loved roses. Our brick house in Indiana that I grew up in, which my father built 60 years ago, the rose bushes that my mother planted, there are still 2 of them that are surviving, but only 2. And she tended those roses like they were her children. Roses are gorgeous, but quite frankly, it used to be that you darn near needed to be a master gardener to have an impressive rose garden, because they constantly had to be pruned. They were disease ridden. Pests, for some reasons, were drawn to them, even mildew and mold. Well, now we're talking about Cottage Farms. These are the favorite fragrance live rose plants. They are brand new today. They are the only order we have for the entire season, and you're getting 2 different plants. One is called Bliss, and the other one is called Earth Angel. But what makes these so different, look how many petals are on that rose. Katie, how many petals are there? This is a traditional rose right here, right there. But yep, this is the fragrant rose, the favorite fragrance. How many petals?
Well, you know, since it's my job to sit there and count them,
yes,
we've got 80 petals on these, each one. So they have been bred. You know, you talked about it. Roses were plagued with diseases, and you know, maybe we want them to bloom more, but you get all of that with these roses. Not only do you get that disease resistance, not only do you get all of this bloom power with these petals. I mean, they look like peonies. If you're a fan of peonies, they have so many petals on one flower, but you also get that fragrance. You get that subtle fragrance that is just absolutely, you know, like we talked about a little bit of a vanilla earlier. Mm-hmm. I call these like a summer breeze, where they really are just, you know, like it's summer, the fragrance of summer, and you don't get that anymore with roses. So that's why we picked these 2 that I think just go so nicely together. The Bliss is an apricot, you know, a dusty apricot, and the Earth Angel is a dusty pink. You can plant these together. They're going to be a traditional rose shrub that gets to be about 4 feet tall. So they're going to be a nice, if you have a rose garden like me, or if you just have a perennial garden, you know, roses do love full sun. So the more sun you put them in, the more blooms you will get. And with roses like that, we want a lot of bloom.
You get them. Now again, here's the pink, and here's that apricot. There's just something about the bragging rights of growing roses well. And Cottage Farms has taken all the work out of it for you. I want to show you what you're going to be receiving, because this is very impressive. By the way, there's no mistaking which end goes into the ground. The one with the thorns goes into the air. The end without goes into the ground. But this cutting is already, Katie, I'm assuming this is 2 years old before it's shipped to the customer, just by the fact that it's as thick as my thumb. It already has been bred to be an incredibly hardy rose. You won't have to worry about the disease that plagues most roses. And I will tell you flat out, there is a massive, massive difference between the $30 roses that you buy at a garden center, that you're lucky to get roses at all the first year, compared to what you're going to see from Cottage Farms. And you're getting 2 different high fragrance roses for that price tag of under $40. I think that is exceptional. Only order of the season. It's all we've got, and we have it right now at a featured price of $39.60. Even our QVC price of a little over $40 is unheard of for this type of rose.
Oh, and they're perfect for cut flowers. Of course, we know I don't think I need to remind you that Valentine's Day is coming up. And think about the cost of getting a dozen roses. These are perfect cut flowers, so they make absolutely wonderful cut flowers. In fact, you cut them, more roses will come behind it. These roses bloom in summer, and they'll bloom all the way through till fall. So you just keep cutting them, and you bring that fragrance indoors to enjoy now outside and inside. You can create a hedge like this if you want, or you can plant them individually in your perennial gardens. Roses are so versatile. They really work in so many different arenas. And, you know, we've talked about it. Yes, they have been fussy. Maybe people have been afraid to grow roses in the past, but you don't need to be afraid anymore. These are easy to grow, easy to plant. The way that we're giving you this bare root, They could not be easier, and you will have roses in 90 days. That's the benefit of a bare root, is that this is, like you said, it is a plant that is established. Once you put it in the ground, it is ready to grow.
All right, I'm going to give you a really weird analogy, but it'll tell you the way I think. I want to talk to the guys out there. I'm not being sexist, but you can give your girl a rose for Valentine's Day. But that's like giving someone a picture of a sandy beach, as opposed to taking her on a tropical vacation. When you just give one rose, it's nice. But when you give someone the ability to grow these roses themselves in their space, and they come back year after year because these are perennials, that's not the gift of a flower, that's a gift of a passion. You know, there's a lot of people out there that had no idea they would be passionate about gardening until someone gave them a plant. And if you've got ground, all you do is dig a hole, plant it, and I will recommend that you pick up their Carefree Bud and Flower Booster for roses. It's the easiest plant food you've ever dealt with, and you get a whole season supply for an inexpensive price. Katie, I'm so glad you brought us roses today, right before Valentine's Day. Thank you. Coming up in about 12 minutes, every last one of us, if we're going to plant gardens, has a shady spot. And usually, flowers don't necessarily